Don't you trust Mum and Dad?
Where are you taking me again?
Well, let's find some fish. Fish on. Yeah. Field trips are sick. Big shark, big shark, big shark, big shark, bite! Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris.
And
this is little man Oakley. We are currently in the Exmouth Gulf and it is a beautiful glass off this morning. Bowser is behind, all parked up. The boat is ready, the little True Kit pocket rocket is ready to rock. I'm gonna steam about 6 kilometers north to a spot that on an app called Navionics shows rocks, and I'm kind of after that sort of grounds that I can either get a blue bone or a big coral trout for dinner.
That's the beauty of the Gulf compared to the Ningaloo. There's no spearfishing restrictions, so basically any good fish we can get.
Any good fish is fair game, which is awesome. So I'll take you along for the spearing mission and then hopefully we'll come back with dinner.
Good luck.
Successful dive. Got this bad boy. Really beautiful bar cheek coral trout. So you can see that bar right there on its cheek. Beautiful fish, and that big ornate cray that you saw. So I dove down under a bommy, saw the cray, grabbed him, and then had an absolute battle on my hands getting it back to the boat with my spear gun as well. He almost got away, so I'm so glad he didn't. Then went down. It's really murky, unfortunately, but I managed to find this guy and actually just took a shot from the surface of the water so that I didn't dive and spook him. So it's kind of a cheat shot really, I guess. So got him for dinner, which is awesome. Saw some dolphins swimming around, some sea snakes, some turtles, and went to a bunch of different spots on Navionics that just basically said rocks. So I just wanted to check them all out. But yeah, unfortunately the viz was really, really bad. Hopefully I'll try and go back to the spot I've marked where I got this guy. Maybe I'll go back tomorrow. Hopefully the viz will be a bit better. So I'm gonna fillet him up and skin him, and that'll be dinner. How's this for a bag of goodies? So that's all that coral trout. Oh, best tasting fish in the ocean. So we're gonna add some Tandaco coating mix for lightly seasoned fish. So I'm just gonna crack that open, pour that into the Ziploc bag, just like that. Zip her up. Did a shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake.
Very important part.
Shake, shake, shake. There you go. It's the hardest part of the whole process, really.
If you don't shake well.
Great skill, wisdom, patience, courage, and intelligence. And as you can see, I have none of those traits, so it's not that great. It's not too bad. So I'm heating up a pan of oil. Not a ton of oil, because Ange and I aren't really keen on cooking, like deep frying stuff too much. But there's a decent amount of oil in there, so I'm just gonna wait for that to heat up. So when it starts like sizzling and bubbling, I'm gonna start chucking these on, removing them, putting on the plate. It's gonna be easy as, and then we've got a few other things to have that we'll show you afterwards.
And while Chris is preparing the fish, I was in charge of doing a side of mango salsa, and as well make some little roasted potatoes. So it's gonna be delicious. This little man today has another bad day, but we survived another day, and he's much happier that he had his nap. You like to be by the ocean? You always wonder what is this ring that we're putting in front of our face. So adorable.
So much of it.
How long has it been since we haven't had coral traps?
Oh, we got one the first island mission we did in Queensland.
Oh, that's right.
So that was up.
The one and only in Queensland.
Yeah, and it wasn't. This one was bigger. And
WA is definitely delivering more goods.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's all that'll fit in the pan right now. Epic. Don't let those midges get you.
The shadow? Can you see the shadow?
Good boy. Good boy.
A tiny piece of fish. Tiny piece of fish.
Ooh. Little piece of coral trout. Day 2 of diving in the Gulf off the boat. Not super stoked. It looks really murky just from where I can see here. So I've steamed about 6 kilometers from our camping spot where Ange and Oakley still are, and I'm basically just trying to find some ground here, kind of using navionics to show where some rubble might be and different contours. Now what I have brought that I didn't have yesterday that could be a game changer is I've bought 2 crayfish heads that I froze up pretty much to use as burley here today. So what I might do is, even if this spot that I've anchored at isn't exciting, I'll drop 1 cray head here, I'll mark the spot on my navionics, and then I'll come back in maybe 20 minutes or so and see if there's a bunch of action on the burley. So we'll see how we go. I've thrown anchor down and all I can see so far from here is a big sea snake. So yeah, we'll see how we go, because sometimes they can get really frisky and of course they are deadly. So not a big fan of, I mean I love them, but I'm not a big fan of them coming up close to me. So we'll see how we go. Alright, the burleying worked. Put in a nice big gold spot rock cod, also called a slimy because they are horrible to fillet. Look at the size of its mouth. Alright, so I'm going to steam back to Ange because I've been out for a couple of hours and fillet this up on the beach. All right. Okay, so we've come to this beautiful area by the range. We've sort of left the Gulf because there were heaps of midges and they were sort of biting Oakley and it was getting a bit annoying. So left there, we've come to this beautiful spot. It's not too windy, at least at the moment. Now, you saw a few days ago me catching that cray. I put it on ice, so chucked it in the freezer, put it to sleep, which is the most humane way to kill them. Pulled some of his legs off afterwards just to make a little bit more room. So he's now nice and defrosted, and we're going to cook it up on a fire today, which we cannot wait because I haven't had crayfish on a fire in ages. Wanted to show you guys this knife. So BPS Knives is a Ukrainian knife company. They do a lot of bushcraft and camping utility sort of stuff. They sent me the Adventurer. So it's a 1066 carbon steel knife, and it is so bloody nice. This is definitely my favorite knife, and you know now I've got a bit of a collection going on. A few things to say about it. So walnut wood handle, it's got ties through the middle so you can take that off and clean it all up. Super sharp blade. It's also got a really nice balance point, I've noticed as well. Beautiful knife, got some good weight to it. Comes in a nice leather sheet that has a belt buckle attachment, or you can just chuck it in a backpack. And it also comes with, which I really like, its own ferro rod. So ferro rod actually attached to it, so it's a proper bushcraft knife. So really wrapped with it. Again, made in the Ukraine, which is a bit special, so it's not one of these Chinese made knives. What I'm going to do is cut up this crayfish and we'll chuck her on the fire. Alright, so I'm only going to cook the cray tail over the fire. I'm not going to cook the whole head. So what we're going to do is cut open the carapace. So I'll whip out the Adventurer and I'm going to cut along the carapace, trying to get as much meat as possible for when I pull the tail out. So I'm just going to chop along it, flip her over, cutting through into the body and underneath. Just trying to get as much meat out as possible so that it separates from the shell quite easily. Going to give it a bit of a twist. And a tug, and here we go. Awesome. So that's all of the meat gone. So that's inside the cray head. So there's really no more meat left in it. So it's a really good way to prep a cray, or a lobster if you will. So I'm just going to chuck that to the side. And then we've got this huge cray tail with super brutal armor on it as well. Okay, so I'm going to lay it down nice and flat. Then I'm going to take the knife and cut into it. So, and this knife is making short work of it. Pretty brutal crunching going on. So I'm going to cut right through now that I've broken the carapace. And that's made really short work of it, mainly because of its weight, I think, because it's sharp, but it's also just well weighted. When I've tried to cut through these recently with my filleting knife, it's almost too bendy of a knife. So these work really well for lobster. I'll make sure I've cut all the way through here. And then look at that, it separates nicely like so. Then you've got the poo tube, which we don't want. So I just pull that out, and then we've got two perfect cray tails. All right, and those will go on the fire. So I'll put those in the fridge for now. I'll show you what I'm going to do with them to prep them up. Next, we're going to light the fire using the ferro rod. Let's light this fire. It's a bit early in the day, but I don't want the wind picking up too much, and this might be a mission to start because I'm not the best at using a ferro rod, but we'll give her a crack. Oh, here we go. Here we go. How's that? Well, that lit actually a lot easier than I thought it would. That worked really well. Awesome. So cool. Helps that this tinder's so nice and dry. Basically just grabbed a bunch of grasses and just munched them all up into a small little pile. and these sticks came out of the Gulf. They're nice and dry. So I've got a bit of a motley crew of firewood. One of the best being, I think, probably a piece of jarrah or something like that, already pre-burned for me. So I'll chuck that on, stoke the fire up, get some nice coals, and within an hour, maybe 2 hours, I'll be able to chuck the cray on our little camp braai and cook that up. Okay, so you've got to season the crayfish now. The wind's really picking up, so hopefully you can hear me okay. So pretty straightforward. We've got the two halves of the tail. I'm going to cut up some lemon that I can squeeze onto it, some fresh garlic that I can rub into it, and then we've also got this loaded salt firecracker, which is like a WA seasoning salt which you can use for meat and seafood. Tastes bloody delicious, and that I'm going to rub into the cray, and then we'll chuck it on the fire and let it slowly simmer away. Got a few gnarly cuts in my hands, that's never helpful. So I'm going to try and use my left hand as much as I can. This is the firecracker salt. Not too much, I don't want to make it too salty. We've got some chili flakes in there, a few other herbs and spices. Alrighty, so the cray is nice and seasoned now. I'm just going to let those coals burn down a little bit more. I'm going to chuck it on the braai, let it sizzle away for a little bit, cook in its own juices. I'm going to really try not turn the cray over onto its face, because I really want it to almost like boil, I guess, on the fire, so it's going to taste the best and not dry out, which I've made that mistake before. We'll have an early dinner tonight, and then we'll reside in the camper, I guess, the rest of the night out of this wind. And then tomorrow, the wind's meant to be perfect. We have got a hire boat, and we're going to steam out into the Gulf and go on a mad spearfishing mission, so stay tuned.
Got grip there.
They're good.
Don't you trust Mum and Dad?
Where are you taking me again?
He's got like a full head white knuckling.
We good to spin. So we are now trapped
On the hire boat.
Yeah.
We're upgrading.
We've upgraded. We've left the patch on the Gulf where we were sparing for a few days, and now we have joined the mad rig with our rental boat. We're going to send it out to the island. All good? Yeah, bro.
You!
So many whales. Let's not hit the whales, man.
No. What's your mission today?
Okay. It's a worthy mission. Right, let's find some fish.
Motor's off.
Barramundi cod.
Awesome.
Good
Good
shot.
eating.
Good shot.
Do you want me to take something?
Can you try and grab the fish? Oh yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. Have you brained him?
Yeah.
Nice.
What's in front, Grace?
Whale. He's with the car.
He's in 4 meters of water.
on!
Holy!
Yeah, boy!
What is it?
Oh, yes!
Don't lose a finger.
What is it?
Motor off.
That is sick.
Wowee.
Oh, what a shot, bro.
This looks sharky as.
Yeah,
Yay!
Look at him.
Big black
That's
spot.
Sick.
Big tusky. I'll bleed him out. As long as no one's jumping in.
Nah. There's whale just there. There's something blue just here. Oh, cray! Crayon!
What? Yeah.
Bro, can you take my gun? Safety's on, but she's loaded. Good size painted.
Yeah! Nice one.
How are you gonna get in the boat?
No. So she's got tar spots, so I'm gonna chuck her back. So I'll find the ledge and put her back underneath.
And get a mum or a dad.
I'll make lots of other little crays. It's a beautiful cray, eh?
Oh, that's so cool.
Hey! Fish on! Big shark! Big shark! Big shark! Big shark! Bite! Don't reel it in yet. Man, girls trips are sick. Love it. Take me on a girls trip anytime.
Yeah, I'm
Dude, that's
absolutely
a mega trip.
stoked with that.
That thing's a beast. Oh, yes!
Thinking about shark.
Shark, yeah.
Cheers, Gears! Knuckles!
You want to drink as well? One there. Oh, look.
Sea legs. Yeah, looks like Chris. Show me your best blue bone face.